Mr. Watts, he is armed himself. Shots. Shots. Watch it. Tear gas. Live rounds. Also, I can see that.
Just look where done!
Everyone is a boxer, man. I like to put in a boxer, man, to do that. But since my cousin there, no, you come up the East Coast.
You listen to me.
Right? No, you come up the East Coast.
You listen to me.
You gotta listen to me too, man.
I am listening to
Right? Now, I see you on the East Coast. The day when they get a protest of them, the next day, that's when you see one bigger heads come up to talk to my family. Right? And that's bad. If you didn't do a protest, you want to see nobody for justice. I'm not holding back nothing. I'm not holding back nothing. I just need justice of my family. I get visitors all of a sudden. All of a sudden, This is Joker. Who is that Joker? That piece of plum. They know who they did it.
All right. Hey, good afternoon. It's just 42 minutes after 12 o'clock, of course, in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. It's 42 minutes after 12 o'clock in beautiful Guyana. We appreciate the fact that you take time out. You've taken the time out to tune into us. We got some latest that we want to bring to your attention. We have the we have the mother of Neon Howard. And Neon Howard is the young man that was allegedly murdered. People close to him, his relatives, and even you see all over social media, majority of the people are of the view that he was murdered by members of the Guyana police force. The story coming out of the Guyana police force contradicts, and the evidence contradicts any allegations that are being leveled by the police force about Neon Howard grabbing a gun of a policeman and opening fire on them. So the contradictions are pretty enormous. The police force has a lot to answer. But when we're done with this brief interview with the mother, who's with us this morning, we'll head over and we'll talk a little bit about this story where policemen out in Berbice, quarantine Berbice to be exact, are putting up PPP flags on those posts, PPP flags, and they are out there campaigning with PPP candidates. We will touch on that. We will also touch on this. Devendra Prasad pleads guilty in the US to conspiracy over diverted HIV kits. And those diverted HIV kits were sold or allegedly sold to the Ministry of Health in Guyana. And now there might be the minister, these things cannot be done without the knowledge of the Minister of Health or senior advisors of the Minister of Health. Of course, in the Ministry of Health, you know, Leslie Ramsamy, a controversial figure, is there as an advisor. But this guy pleaded guilty. The kits, the HIV kits that were sent or sold to the Ministry of Health in Guyana were expired HIV kits. Again, they were expired, allegedly, they were expired HIV kits, and that's dangerous. And so we want to know whether the Minister of Health has knowledge of this or not. But we'll be back to that story right after this here. Let's get to this story here. And again, good afternoon to all of you. We thank you for sharing the link. We know it's Memorial Day in the United States of America, and salute to all those who um, are taking part in this holiday, the Memorial Day holiday. All right, so good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank God for life.
Yeah, thank God for life, even under the circumstances. You are the mother of Neon Howard.
Yes.
Um, I can just imagine how you're feeling at this moment. What's the feeling like when you got the news, ma'am?
And I'm very upset. I'm very upset because if they catch Neon and he didn't add anything and they handcuff him, all of a sudden, 3 hours after, they could say that he run with gun and all this nonsense. I believe it. I believe it. Who is the person that had that clock on his stomach? You could see like somebody was because he knit up the forehead. When you die, your body does relax. Like somebody had a gun since then pointing to him, or we open his eyes and the forehead fold up. Somebody like they had a gun there already. Who is the person that had that foot on him? I want to know. And I need justice for Neon. Neon has a son, a young son that he live here. Who is going to take care of Neon's son? I
Okay,
am not working anywhere.
so you're definitely calling for justice. We're hearing
Yes,
we're hearing that he cooperated with the police. We're hearing all manner of stuff. We're hearing that he was actually tortured by the police and he was murdered. Um,
yes.
what have you been hearing in terms of the police evidence of police brutality and extrajudicial killing? Have you heard from the police? Have they visited you?
No police want to know. No police did not call. No police did not visit.
And so, as of now, the body, your son's body, has not been handed over to you.
No, no, sir.
So, do you know what have they done to him, his body?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Nobody called. Nobody said anything. I can't say.
No one called. No one said anything. All you got to call is that your son died, and the Nancy story that the police wants to put out there, or they have put out there, is that your son grabbed a gun and started shooting at the police. Nothing hit the police. The police fired back at him. That's according to the police report. They fired back at him while he got hit. One claimed that they fired 4 rounds. He got hit with one. He was in this stream of water, pool of water, and he got hit, but yet he was still fighting up with this gun to shoot back at them. Jim Cock, bring Rambo's story. How does these Nazi stories make you feel, ma'am?
Upset. Upset, and nobody did not call me. It's the picture that I saw released when they catch him. I saw the picture when they catch him. And like 4 hours after the brother came and he told me, said they killed Neon, somebody, but the body looked like Neon. So I said, let me hold on and see. Nobody say anything until now. I didn't hear anything from nobody. It's the picture that I saw release, where he's there with the person get their foot on his chest and his hands in handcuff. Then I hear the whole set of mix up, go wrong, come wrong story. I want to know. He does normally get malaria when he go in the bush. Even out there, he does get the malaria. So I don't know what they're going and say what this nonsense.
So you're
I
not.
don't know. I'm not buying the story. I'm not buying the story because they catch him and they say it's unarmed. Oh, all of a sudden he get AK, he get so much different, 2, 3 guns in bag and all this craziness. I want to know what really going on. Until now, no police ain't call me. Nothing. I can't leave the home to run out like a wild person to go anywhere. I want to know what is going on. No police call until now. You don't know where is the body.
Have you guys attempted to make contact with the acting commissioner of police or even the crime chief to find out the whereabouts of the body?
I ain't get no confidence in those people. I ain't calling them. I ain't calling them. Those people are criminals. I'm not calling anybody. When they call me, then I'm going to make my move. I'm not calling nobody in the police force. I frighten them people in the police like 10 years in prison.
So you and your family, obviously, you're looking for justice, and you don't believe the police version of the story.
No, no.
Your son also did some work. He usually worked in the bush, in the interior, and this is
Yeah.
nothing new. This is nothing surprising that he is in that area. He goes to that area, I heard.
He goes all over. Different area he goes.
And
Different area he just go.
yeah, and he goes there to work.
Yeah.
And the impression that the police report tried to give is that he was found with malaria tablets and all manner of things they were insinuating. You're the mother. He suffered from malaria. And so those are
Yeah.
his. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. He just, the malaria does go and come. Most time he go in the interior. Sometimes even when he out there, the malaria just raise.
And you guys are within the vicinity. You're from Buxton Friendship area.
Yeah.
And so absolutely sorry about that. I'm reading some of the comments here as well. You believe that this photograph that we have on the screen right now with his Crocs on his shoulder, probably guns pointed at him. How do you describe this photo that is circulating on? When you look at your son's face, what do you see?
That's the photo with the clogs on his stomach.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Well, you could see directly like somebody had something pointing at him. Because we open his eyes and the forehead, you see the impression on his forehead. They look like somebody they pointing and they say he was unarmed. That's the release they make, he's unarmed. The little stuff that he had in the bag there, that is his stuff, he was unarmed. After you found this man unarmed, you handcuff him. Why you don't bring him in for what you want to charge him for? They put up a set of things he had wanted for narcotics, what have you. He had wanted for narcotics. Why all this time they didn't put out a wanted bulletin? Why they didn't put out a wanted bulletin for him?
That makes sense because apart from going into the interior to work, which is something that he does often, he also does taxi.
Yes.
It is not that he's not known to the police. From where he does his taxi, there is at least 2 or 3 police stations.
Yeah.
Why haven't they arrested him if he was wanted for
He
all?
wanted. He
Go ahead.
wanted.
Yeah.
Why they didn't arrest him there? Why they didn't put out an arrest warrant for him then? Then they said he helped Roy then to get out from the prison. How they catch him and then catch Roy then? Or Smalley, how they catch E and then catch Roy then? God is in charge though. Whoever kill him, they would have restless night. Because I'm a woman with faith. And I'm going to kneel and pray good for them. I make my children and I struggle and I mind them. And if the police thinks that they are the owner of my child, that they could beat him, kill him, whoever do the work, God hands on them. God hands on them. I don't trouble people things, and I just always beg. I don't know what of neon. I'm not going to swear for neon. But when it comes to killing my child, God is going to work for me. I am going to fast and I'm going to kneel down and I'm going to pray good for them. I'm going to pray bad for them. I will pray good for them because when you pray good for people, the goodness just come back to you. They're going to get restless night for Neon's life. He has a young child. Oh, they want to kill out all our young black men so that we can get development with more children. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm not calling no police. I'm waiting on them.
So
I'm
it's not
waiting on them.
it's not that people in the area weren't familiar with Roy then, or they didn't know him. Everybody in Friendship Buxton area
Everybody
knows
know
that
Roy
they got,
then.
yeah.
Even to the PPP, they know Roy then. The police force, they know Roy then. All of them know Roy then. Everybody know Roy then.
So for them now, once you're familiar with Royden and you know Royden being the prisoner escapee, Smalley,
Yes. You
to
help him to escape.
suspect, and they're going to go and kill everybody out who knows
Mm-hmm.
Royden.
Yes. And you get more bucks and boys working in the area. More bucks and boys. I don't know if they're going to kill more people. God bless them.
So what message, because I'm almost certain that the acting commissioner of police is watching some of the other senior ranks, or what direct message you have for them now with the questionable circumstances under which your son was killed? In fact, people have concluded, and maybe rightly so, that he was murdered extrajudicially, sorry, by members of the Guyana police force. What message you have for the, if let us assume that the acting commissioner of police may be the crime chief they're watching right now?
I need justice for my child. I need justice for my child. That's what I need. I need justice for my child. I always mix up, cook up story. I need a true story for my child. If he had arms, well, it did different. He didn't add nothing when they catch him. And I need justice for him. He has a young child. And I need justice for him.
We have seen a report that pops up on a friendly news outlet of the sorry about that. We tried to get to that friendly news outlet by the police friendly news outlet. This is by Leroy Smith. Also, he goes by the Big Smith. Says here, 33-year-old Neon Howard of Friendship East Coast Demerara has been arrested by the police in connection with the escape of notorious convicted criminal Royden Williams. Big Smith News Watch has been informed that the man who was once sentenced for possession of arms and ammunition, whatever, Howard has thus far provided police with some vital information in relation to Williams, the escape plot, and has been cooperating with law enforcement agency. This, let me let folks know that Big Smith has actually corrected a lot of things here. He changed up, he took this original post down and he reposted something almost not identical to this here now. What is your take on all the misinformation being placed out there by folks who are close to the police force?
That man tell no tales, but a picture tell 1,000 words. Dead man tell no tales. They could talk anything about me or no. They kill him, and I want to know what he had in the bag. All of a sudden, he was unarmed, and all of a sudden, oh, we get so much gun, so much arms and ammunition. Dead man tell no tales.
And their initial report never said or never indicate that this guy had a gun or had a penknife on him.
Nothing.
Nothing at all. But it
Nothing.
that while they were transporting him, he grabbed a gun that was on the lap, openly on the lap of a policeman. So here it is that you're transporting somebody that is supposedly dangerous or allegedly assisted a wanted man. And then you're going to allow that person to drive in your vehicle with no handcuffs, no shackles, no nothing. I know you're hinting that your son was actually murdered. But do you believe that version of the police when they claim that he grabbed their gun and he ran in some trench and he helped shoot and then he couldn't get the gun to work and he attempted to get the gun to work even after he was shot? Do you believe that version that the police want?
Only a madman would believe whatever they're saying there. I'm not crazy. I'm not a mad woman. They find themselves, they want to know who released the picture when they catch it. They find themselves between a rock and a hard place. Who released the picture?
Well, I'm
Today
told
they
that
don't realize
go
there's
ahead, ma'am.
social media.
Yeah.
Social media all over. Into the bush is social media today, so you gotta be careful with what you're doing.
You're
Any
saying,
bad thing, they could put any bad thing now, but you already passed. But I want to
so
know who was that person put with the clog on his stomach.
you are actually correct. Social media, all of the information. I'm told that there's a uh, videotape of what transpired. I hope I get my hands on that. I don't have it. I'm told that there are audio recordings as well as to what the police did to him. I'm hoping that I
Mm,
can get my hands on that. So, so we are hearing a lot of things that obviously point in the direction of the police murdering murdering this alleged accomplice of Smalley, alleged accomplice of
yes.
Smalley. Now, one of the things that is very scary, ma'am, and I can understand how you're feeling at this point in time. So let me just at least take this time out to salute you for being as brave as you are in standing up and calling for justice for your son, who has been killed, allegedly murdered by members of the Guyana police force. Um, Now that the police force, they're claiming that he has given them all this information and a plot and so forth and so on. Do you see that as a way that the police, because you know how they have operated in the past and they
Mm,
continue to operate, they will use that to go after other individuals and murder them, claiming
them.
that that's the
Mm,
information your son gave them?
mm. Mark, these police are so, they believe people are so stupid. They believe people are so dunce. God bless them. God bless them. If he got shot, the person hold that gun, they point one finger at him and they point back four fingers to themselves. God bless those police. And once a police, twice a civilian.
How
I
would you
see pol- I
go ahead.
see police walk the road already mad. And people ain't do them nothing. I bless them with the blessings of God. Let them formulate and let them take off, let them put in and everything. God is the answer. He know the truth, he know the wrong.
What's how would you describe your late son, Neon?
Mm.
What sort of a person was he?
Yon is a loving child. He's a loving child and he could give away the last dollar that he gets. He could give away the last dollar he gets. And he's very hardworking. Very hardworking.
You know, it is sad that even under the circumstances, not a phone call to you, the mother of a man who was allegedly murdered by members of the Guyana police force, not a phone call, no word about the whereabouts of his body, nothing at
Body,
all.
nothing, nothing unto now. Nothing. Nothing, no call. I don't know anything.
Where
I'm
do
not
you go
going to
from here?
swear.
Seeking justice, you know, there are scores of other people who,
Yes, I know that. I know that. But if I can't get justice from man, I gonna get justice from God. Because he never fails. We just want answer quick, but he never fails. And whoever kill Neon, they're gonna walk the road and go call Neon name. They're gonna walk the road and call his name. Whoever kill Neon. Because I am going to pray good for them. This country got to get good. Too much bloodshedding in this place. I'm a prayer warrior and I believe in God. Some answers come fast and some just take time. And I believe in God. It's TIME and capital GOD.
You know, one of the things that will be interesting is for you to get that autopsy report, or for you to get that opportunity to witness that autopsy report, so that you can let the entire
Yes.
and the entire world know how
No,
many
what?
bullets and
Yeah. And whatever did at his body, because all thing you're hearing,
yeah.
they said they beat you and all thing. God
Do you,
bless them.
do you believe that he was tortured
I don't know.
before they
I
killed?
don't know. I don't know. When they get the postmortem, then you will know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Do you
Because
find it go ahead,
they
ma'am?
know what it is do to people. They got to know. Whoever do, they got to know. I don't know.
The fact that they have not contacted you to even hand the body over to you and or members of the family, do you find that as being very suspicious, that maybe they don't want to see certain things on the body?
More than suspicious. More than suspicious. Because just like how I'm talking to you on the phone, it's just the people calling the phone. And they want to know who released that picture that they asked that foot on his stomach. The police know. They asking, they keep asking, who released the picture that they asked the foot on his stomach. The police they know. Why you think they are releasing the body? God bless them though.
From what we're seeing here, see the mud, or also lots of blood on the right side there. It seems as though that he was shot right there and then, and evidence is pointing in that direction that he was, because looking at his facial expression, looking at what appears to be some blood at the right side of his shirt and close to where that shoe is, would suggest that he was actually shot, and maybe at point blank.
God bless them.
So you're saying that the police just, their concern right now is who released this video. I mean,
Yes.
this photograph. That's
They,
all they're concerned about.
yes, they just want to know who released the video. They ain't concerning but calling the parent to find to know how you could get the body. They're just calling for know who released the video. The video is worldwide. The picture is worldwide. God bless them.
You have a lot
If
of.
they ain't come,
Go ahead again, ma'am. Sorry.
if they ain't come from a mother, I made neon. If they ain't come from a mother, I made neon. And these police gotta stop this nonsense. They gotta stop it. They gotta stop it. Because today is me. Tomorrow it could hit at their door. They gotta stop it. These police gotta stop it.
You know, a lot of folks are supporting you. A lot of folks are praying for you. A lot of folks understand and they feel your pain, because they just do not believe this story, and rightfully so. Not even a kindergarten child would buy this story. What message of course, you want to say thank you for all those
Yeah, I
who are.
want to thank God for everybody who put in all the prayers for me. I want to thank God for the strength that He bestowed in me. I want to thank God for everything. And I thank God for the police them too. And I thank God for the killer or the killers who ever killed my son. God is going to visit them in the day and night season. God bless them. These police were killing all black people children. They're playing the head in good. God bless them. God bless them. I pray for good for them. Good, good. I pray for the police.
All right,
I
again,
thank-
yep, thank you so much for your time, and we understand your pain, and condolences to you and your entire
Yeah,
family.
yeah,
Continue to keep us informed. We will stay in touch with you. Please let us
yes,
know when you are in receipt of the body, and whether you are allowed to witness the autopsy report, which by law you should be allowed to.
yes.
And
Okay.
we'll work along to see to ensure that you can possibly have some sort of talk with some lawyer,
Yeah,
maybe
I'll
some
do.
representatives, political representatives would visit with you to hear and to hear your side of the story as well.
Yeah.
Nobody's believing the police version at all.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
And
and
thank
continue.
everyone who is keeping me in prayers.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Have
Thank
a
you.
blessed day. Yeah.
Thank you. Sure. Yeah, that's the mother of Neon Howard. Neon Howard on the screen was or died while in police custody. The police have issued a release to say this, and this is through Leroy Smith, who is basically a mouthpiece for the police. And so, in this first report that came out through Big Smith, says 33-year-old Neon Howard of Friendship, East Coast, Demerara, has been arrested by the police. Arrested by the police in connection with the escape of notorious convicted criminal Royden Williams. Big Smith News Watch has been informed that the man who was once sentenced for possession of arms and ammunition, Howard has thus far provided police with some vital information. That's according to Big Smith. And Big Smith knows that the police got vital information. And now, look, I'm not buying that crap. I'm not buying that crap of any vital information. What the police will be using that, or what they would want, is to use that now to say to members of the public that, hey, what they are doing now is that they're acting based on the information that this guy, Howard, allegedly gave to them. It could be that Howard didn't give them anything, but it could also be that the police have certain other individuals that they want to go out and they want to kill. And because they want to go out and because they want to kill other individuals, they are going to make it appear now that they're acting based on the information that was allegedly given to them by this guy, Howard. And now, if in fact they got information from this guy, if in fact they arrested this guy and they put handcuffs on him, they obviously shackled him, how do they explain that in order to put him on an ATV, I believe that's what it is, right? A little small tractor looking thing, like, and in placing him on that ATV to transport him from one spot to the next, why would they remove his handcuff? And while he is sitting there, another policeman is sitting next to him. And that's what they want us to believe, right? So he is sitting here, supposedly dangerous. He is sitting there, no handcuffs, no shackles, no nothing, next to a policeman. And this policeman has an AK-47 rifle on his lap. So here is the guy they arrested, driving next to the policeman. The policeman felt comfortable in placing his assault rifle, AK-47 rifle, right there. So they're driving and they're yapping and yeah, man. So that is fishy to me. It is fishy to me. And I know all of you out there, you didn't attend night school or you didn't go to the University of IFLA. So we got sense, right? We're not dotish people. So while they're transporting this guy that is supposed to be an accomplice of a notorious escape prisoner, he put this gun down right on his lap and drive in. And then he claims now, according to the police, that this guy, Neon Howard, grabbed the gun. So he grabs the gun. He started shooting at them. Nobody got hit. Nobody got grazed. Nothing at all. And so he jumped in a pool of water or wherever, a trench or whatever, and a policeman returned 4 shots, hitting him once. So the story, something like that. And then another policeman pulled out a 9mm and fired several shots, hitting him about 3 or 4 times. Meanwhile, when he got hit the first time, he was still struggling to pull this gun up. Something isn't adding up. And again, the police, they've got to be smarter than that. Whenever they issue reports, whenever they release something, it's got to add up. It's got to make sense. And there's so many holes in what the police attempting to say to members of the public. So many holes in this story that would lead us or right-thinking people to conclude, and of course that's my conclusion as well, that this guy was murdered by members of the joint services. If you take a close look at this photograph, what you see in this guy's face is fear. What you see in this guy's face, whose clothing, shirt, appears to be soaked in blood, what you see in his face is fear. What you see in his face, torture is written all over it. That, and again, this is my opinion, that he was tortured by members of the Guyana Police Force, Joint Services members. He was tortured. And then they want to run now to say that he gave them information. Because, mind you, once they turn him in, he would have to be given a lawyer. And now his story to the lawyer would obviously have been different. So how do you eliminate him? You create a scene to suggest that he attempted to escape and that he grabbed a policeman's gun, and therefore they were obviously threatened by that, and by virtue of that threat, they had to eliminate him. They had to fire back at him. Now, we're hearing that he got hit in the chest. Obviously, the pathologist's report, the autopsy report, would point in the direction that he was killed. You see how they're standing over him like that? The gun pointed at him, a 9mm pointed at him, straight to his chest. Right there and then, it is my opinion, and I repeat, right there and then, he was executed. Right there and then, he was executed by members of the joint services. He was executed by possibly that member that is wearing that Crocs. Is that what you call it? And these are trained police men, and I assume women involved, I don't know, but trained police men and women are out looking for a wanted man and his accomplices. And look the sort of footwear that they're out in the bush looking for people, wanted men. I don't know, that's another story. Maybe it's not that important at this time, but I'm looking at some of your comments. I'm not sure how many of you believe this story. I noticed Marlon Williams is asking here, I would like to know how the fellow was handcuffed, pulled a gun, jumped off the moving ATV, and tried to shoot the police with his hands behind his back. That's a good question. And that's why a lot of people are asked. Forget about some of the Moko Jambi individuals who might want to, say that, this guy was a threat to the police, he was a threat to the nation, eliminate him. We can say that Irfan Ali is a threat to the nation. 19 fraud charges. We can say that Jack J is a threat to the nation. Corruption, allegations upon corruption, and all manner of things. And with the fact that Jack J, whilst he was president, Hundreds of mainly young black men were murdered extrajudicially, even by death squad members, notorious death squad members, and so forth, all connected to the PPP. Anyways, just thought I remind you guys of that. So there is this, and I agree with you, Mr. Williams. I agree with you, as I agree with almost every other person watching this program right now. Now, I don't tell me that because this guy was in jail for some arms and ammunition, of which during that time, from my understanding, is there was so many consistent inconsistencies with this story when he was first charged with arms and ammunition. The prosecutors couldn't get their story right. But how the justice system works in Guyana is if you're poor and you don't have a proper lawyer, well, then you'll end up in Camp Street, sentenced and so forth. However, it doesn't mean because of this guy and some past infraction of the law makes him a suspect, a prime suspect, to be targeted and executed in the way in which he was executed by members of the Guyana police force. Lots of holes in the police story. And thus far, we have not heard anything else from the police force. There's no press release. There's nothing at all. People want answers to this, what is said to be another extrajudicial killing by members of the Guyana police force. Let me read some of your comments, what you think, and what are your thoughts. I've noticed a lot of you out making a lot of valid points. Leroy Nelson, good morning to you. Notice all of you out there. So True Hector, quite a name, So True Hector. What else is bothering you guys? So we're hearing now that, let's step away from this for a moment. We're hearing that a 15-year-old schoolgirl was actually charged with 19 counts of murder. 19. A 15-year-old girl who is said to be the scapegoat. This is what the PPP wants, to make her the scapegoat. It's not to say that we are saying that the story that she may have been upset is inaccurate. We're not saying that. We don't know at this point in time. And we can't buy anything the PPP is saying. The PPP or the Guyana police force. She has got to be given the opportunity to speak with her lawyers. And I was made to understand that she now has lawyers. So let us await to hear what the lawyers have to say, whether the lawyers would say that her story is different from what the PPP has placed out there right away. So they want to put all the blame, all the responsibilities of the 19 deaths on this little girl, this 15-year-old girl. Priya Manik-Chan is not accepting responsibility. She should be blamed for that. The Minister of Local Government, Dharam Lal, should be blamed. The Minister of Education, Home Affairs as well, should be blamed. All of these people, including the Minister of Indigenous Affairs, Pauline Sukai, should be blamed. Should be blamed. All of them. Contributory negligence. All of them have contributed to the problem right there at that dorm. Every single one of them. And you know what is surprising, though, to me, is I saw a letter in yesterday's, Saturday's papers, of which our friend, Member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipal, has attempted to pull Priya Manik-Chan out of this blame game and saying that Priya is not to be blamed. Let us blame the Minister of Local Government, Dharamlal. I said to Ganesh, not Dharamlal alone has to be blamed. Priya has to be blamed as well. And now is not the time to say this one here is not and this. And I put a big question mark as to why Ganesh at this point in time would come out with such an insensitive letter saying that his friend Priya Manikchand should not be blamed. The question is, who is the Minister of Education? Priya Manikchand is the Minister of Education of all the schools in Guyana. Simple as that. And for Ganesh to jump out like that without not understanding responsibilities of these ministers, I'll just tell you guys this for now. I'm very disappointed in that letter, and I'm disappointed in what Ganesh has attempted to do. We're not stupid people, Ganesh. So wake up. Wake up, Ganesh, and understand that now is not the time to play this friendly political game, and you want one individual to be blamed and the other one, you don't want that individual to be blamed. And so you're finding all manner of excuses upon excuses in order for your friend Priya Manikchand not to be blamed. I'm disappointed in you, Ganesh. What else we can touch on before I go? Let's head back to the quarantine. This is what's happening on the quarantine, where members of the police force, they're being used to go out. They are being used to go out and pick up flags and put up flags for the PPP, escort PPP candidates, and all manner of things. That is what they are doing. They are using taxpayers' monies to do political work. And they're using members of the Guyana police force for that purpose as well. And the members of the Guyana police force, they have to decide whether they are political operatives or they are there to protect and serve the citizens. Protect and serve the citizens of Guyana, not the PPP. No policeman should be doing this. No policeman should be escorting anybody, any political candidate, to do political work. And that is what the police force is currently involved in. And that's why we oftentimes hear that Jack Deere would come out and suggest to the police force who to arrest and who not to arrest. Again, who to arrest and who not to arrest. And so the police force, their members of the Guyana police force, are being used as political tools to go after political opponents, candidates of the APNU AFC and maybe other independent candidates, to intimidate them, to arrest them. We heard recently there was a guy, a PNC guy out in Georgetown, one of the constituencies there, I think it's constituency 12, was arrested for 3 days. 3 days. He was arrested, locked up at East La Penitence police station. Locked up for 3 days, all because he said that Patricia Chase Green is a switch and all kind of things. Switch, you know, the usual talking, right? And so Patricia Chase Green didn't like it. She probably called Jack Deere. She called the police. They arrested the young man. He was locked up for 3 days. He came out. He explained his story right here on 107.1 FM. So that's what we're seeing. What the PPP is using the police force to do, to intimidate citizens. Then we heard out in Linden, it's the same thing they did to Sharma Solomon, who is a candidate out there for the local government elections in Linden, sorry. And so they detained Sharma Solomon for about an hour, 2 hours. I can't recall the exact time frame, but again, it's another example of using the police to intimidate opposition politicians. Then we're hearing out in Berbice now on the quarantine, the chairwoman for the NDC, for the Hochstyle area, the chairwoman for the NDC, the chairwoman for the NDC arrested for removing elections material, for removing elections material. This thing has been going on for a while now. The PPP pulled down PNC flag. PNC people probably, maybe, do the same. But they have some flags, when you nail them up, they fall down. Mainly the PPP flags, because even the flags don't want to be on the post. But what the PPP folks have been doing is they go into PNC stronghold, coalition stronghold, and they take down PNC flags, those green flags. They take them down. Or what they do, they take their flag. They take their flag and put it over the PNC, APNU flags. That's what they do. They cover it up. And what APNU PNC advocates have to, candidates have to do, is they have to go now and remove that PPP flag from covering up their flags. And that's the trickery in this thing here. So they make it appear now that PNC or APNU candidates are out there ripping down PNC flags, when in fact there's no evidence to suggest that. But right now they have locked up the chairwoman of the Lancaster Hawk Style Neighborhood Democratic Council, that's the NDC, following a report that flags replaced or flags placed by the People's Progressive Party were being removed. Just a report, no evidence, but just a report, no evidence. And so they hoods the police on the young lady, took the police, and basically took the police and caused the young woman, the NDC chairwoman, to be arrested. So right now she's probably in the lockups, the usual thing of intimidating opposition candidates. The leadership of the opposition has got to start being a little more forceful when it comes to these matters, in standing up and exposing these things. That young man who was locked up for 3 days at La Penitence police station for just a little exchange of words with Patricia Chase Green. And those of you who know Patricia Chase Green, nobody can call she a snitch or a sellout, and she can just walk with your hands full like this. She can abuse back. Patricia Chase Green will abuse back. So this guy that they locked up for 3 days isn't a madman to just exchange words with Patricia Chase Green and Patricia Chase Green and say nothing. He's got to be a madman to just see Chase Green just like that and tell she's a sellout, she's a this, she's a that, without her not uttering anything back. So the stories are not adding up. But what we do know that's adding up is that Jack Dale, Irfan Ali, and the PPP, they're using these folks in the Guyana police force are being used as pawns and tools and puppets of the PPP, the installed PPP regime. I'm told that, and thank you, Ms. Timlin Yearwood, Ben, for that information. Tim is reporting here that the NDC chairwoman out there has been placed on $20,000 bail. $20,000 bail. I repeat, $20,000 bail. Interesting, right? $20,000 bail. Sorry about that. Responding to some messages. $20,000 bail. And I'm looking at some of your comments. And so when these things happen to opposition candidates or people who support the opposition party, there's got to be some sort of fight back. There's got to be some sort of real representation by the leadership of the party. It just cannot go down like that, where these individuals are arrested and the leadership takes a position. Let me wait and see what happens. Because when you wait and see, you give the PPP more fuel to go after your supporters, to go after your candidates. This has got to stop. It has got to stop one way or the other. Remember, it is Jack Deere who has started this here, you know.
Right across Guyana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal. Say to them, you're illegal. Free up the country, you're undemocratic. They're going to face a different situation right across the country. When they come to the communities, whether it is in Berbice or Essecubo and Linden or in South Georgetown or Agricola or in Ennore or Port Morant, the people of Guyana should treat them as illegal. I said they should walk behind them, chase them out of your communities because it means they've been squatting in power.
Yeah, sorry about that. So that's exactly what the people are doing now, and rightfully so. Nobody's calling for any violence. Nobody's beating anybody. People are just saying, look, we are uncomfortable with you guys, and we want you out of our community. You do not mean anything good for our community. And they're chasing them out in a very nice and polite way. Chase them out indeed. But I don't know, sometimes when you ask what's up with the opposition, you don't know what's up with the opposition. They get vexed, the bombs raised, and all manner of things. And so they placed the NDC chairwoman on $20,000 bail. They can't tell her what the offense is. They can't tell her what exactly did she do, or what she did. And so, but yet they have these police guys are going around all over in the quarantine in New Amsterdam now. We saw the situation with nice girl Barbara Pilgrim, and of course, you know, nice girl indeed. We saw what happened there in New Amsterdam when there was an exchange of words. We saw a big strapping lazy guy wanted to hit the other guy, threaten the other guy, and the big strapping lazy guy wasn't charged. But the other guy was charged and placed on maybe 40, 30, I don't know how much $1,000 bail. That is what's happening in the country right now. And you know, sometimes when you ask for strong leadership, people get upset. Some of you PNC people get upset. And y'all saying now is not the time for when is the time for that? When is the time to talk about these things? Can somebody tell me when is the time to talk about these things? Strong leadership. Your people are being brutalized. Your people are being persecuted. And some of you out there, some of you PNC people say, now is not the time for this. Now is not the time for that. You get some of them confused in the opposition as MPs, don't know their jobs, their responsibilities. Like, for example, that insensitive letter by Ganesh Mahipal. An insensitive letter. At this time, he wants to say his friend Priya Manikchan should not be held responsible. A dotish letter that exposed the political incompetence at the highest level. I'm disappointed. I am disappointed. People need leadership. People are crying out for leadership. Look at what happened to that woman. They feel the PPP feels comfortable that they could walk into communities and just arrest people, arrest opposition supporters, arrest them, lock them up for 2, 3, 4 days, place them on high bail, all manner of things they can do to them. And people must shut up. People must stay quiet. Don't say nothing now. Now is not the time for this. Now is not the time for that. A man has been killed extrajudicially, as the evidence points to. Not a word from the shadow minister of Home Affairs. Not a word from anyone in the opposition, in Parliament, questioning the circumstances, and calling on the police force to be forthcoming, to be honest with the members of the public about these sort of killings. No opposition should be afraid as to what the PPP would think or say about them. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. You should not be afraid. To hell with what the PPP thinks. Who cares what the PPP thinks about what you say? The opposition has an obligation to their support base, to stand up for their support base, not to sit down and appease the PPP. You got to be careful because the PPP is going to twist your words. Who cares about the PPP, what they twist? Let them twist whatever they can. You as an opposition, you have that obligation to stand up for your people, stand up for your support base, stand up for the country. You've got to do it. And we find far too often these arrests, these unjust arrests and intimidation by the police, they happen, and the opposition, the leadership of the opposition, remain quiet. Quiet. And then gives this impression that it's a strategy. What sort of dotish strategy is that? It's no strategy. It is weakness on the part of the leadership of the opposition right now. Weakness, not strategy. But then again, when you talk, they vex, right? They vex. They get upset. The bumps raise. You mustn't talk. You must just allow them to be weak. You must allow them to cast blame. Oh, is this body? Is this other body? Is this a... Then they talk about unity in the countries. Unity, charity begins at home. Charity begins at home. If we're not careful, 19 deaths of those young girls and that one little boy will be swept under the rug, as we are already seeing signs of that. They now claim that they have charged 19. A 15-year-old with 19 murder charges. The DPP was swift to ensure that murder charges, not manslaughter, murder charges right away. It is as though this was premeditated, that this 15-year-old girl allegedly sat down and premeditated this murder, that this is what she's going to do. And whoever those dunces are at the DPP chambers, who sometimes when it comes to high-profile crimes, as long as it suits the PPP, the files are oftentimes sent back. Like, for example, the Boston killing was a straightforward murder. But no, the DPP sent back the files. The DPP sent back the files. Then there was the Quindon Bacchus murder by the police again. They sent back the files. All these murders, police murders, the files are oftentimes sent back because they want to do it right. And then when they do it right, they come back with manslaughter charges. You walk into a man's house as a SWAT team, barge into a man's house, no warrant, no nothing, no, this man wasn't wanted for anything, as is the case, was the case of or in Boston out in Essequibo. You barge into his home, murdered him in front of his wife, shot him point blank while he was sleeping. Point blank, you killed him. And the same DPP said it was manslaughter. The guy is now out, the policeman is now out on bail. I don't know what to say, but 19 murder charges against a 15-year-old. And the files were not sent back to the police. The files were not sent back anywhere because the PPP said so. Then that's what it is. Because the PPP say that it's murder, the DPP would say that it's murder. But when that guy was murdered in front of the Palm Court and a friend of the PPP is being accused of that, and this is the friend of the PPP, right? DPP, Azruddin Bacchus. They're not going to institute no charges. The police won't even investigate. Nothing is going to happen because they're comfortable with that. But this poor 15-year-old indigenous girl allegedly involved. No proper investigations, nothing. And so they want us to believe that, okay, yes, she's responsible for that. Story done. Dharamlal isn't responsible. Priya Manik Chan isn't responsible, as Ganesh Mahipal wants us to believe. Home Affairs Minister isn't responsible. Irfan Ali isn't responsible. Pauline Sukai isn't responsible. And so that's what they want us to believe. And because those of us who refuse to believe that Jim Cock bring Ram Goat story, we're bad. We're bad people. We're spreading propaganda on social media. While they're out there in private spreading, God in heaven knows what else they're spreading. Let's head to the quarantine and find out what has happened to Miss Sharon Smith. She was actually arrested. She was arrested by members of the Guyana police force for God in heaven knows what. Good afternoon to you, ma'am. How are you? Yep. If your mic is turned off, can you turn your mic on, please?
Yeah, yes. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah. Let me just say, glad that they have released you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, I am hearing you.
Yeah, glad that you have been released. Can you walk us through what happened, please?
Okay, sure. Well, before I go into details, I just want to say thank you to Amansa Walton this year, MP Amansa Walton this year, and the residents of Oxide, Lancaster, and all those who would have stood by my side throughout the time that I spent in the lockups, I must say. I appreciate their support.
So now, were you physically in the lockups?
No, I was sitting on a bench.
Okay.
From the time I was arrested, I was on a bench until I got released.
How long were you on a bench for?
I went there. They took me in, say, approximately 5:30 yesterday afternoon, and I got bail about 10 minutes to 1 today. So all the time I was on the bench.
Wait a minute. 5:30 yesterday afternoon?
Yes.
Until?
Yeah, about, say, approximately 1 o'clock today.
1 o'clock today, as in this afternoon or morning?
This afternoon.
So you were there on that bench all the time?
Yes, sir, I was.
Because I know yesterday afternoon some of your party comrades were out there. Miss Coretta McDonald's and others, they were in the area. I can't understand. You were sitting on the bench from 5:30. I want our listeners to know, 5:30 yesterday afternoon until 1 o'clock this afternoon, ma'am?
Yes. Yeah, we had a scheduled walkabout, as you said. MP Coretta McDonald was in quarantine, and we walk about in Ulverston Village to sensitize the residents of the upcoming June 12th local government election. And around, say, approximately 5:30, the WIM police patrol, the ranks came up to me and they told me that there's a report at the station from a resident saying that I take down some flags, some PPP flags from the post. And so I asked, what is it really that I have to go to WIM for? They say that I am in breach of, let me be clear, elections violation. So I said, okay, if my name is at the station, I need to go and clear it. So I joined the ranks in the patrol and I went to WIM. When I got there, I asked for the questions because they had wanted to book me in. So I said, what you booking me in for? And they said, elections violation and other charges. So I said, what are the other charges? And to this moment, they can't tell me what the other charges are, and the back and forth and the back and forth and the back and forth. And Amansa Walton Desir and the others on the ground, they call who they had to call. Unfortunately, they couldn't get anybody. The commander whoever in authority to look into the matter, nobody was answering the phone. So I had to end up spending time overnight sitting on the bench until 1 o'clock today. And then they put me on $20,000 bail.
And so when they, and again, let me apologize for your persecution. I am doing so on behalf of the entire Guyana police force, who seem to be notorious in using taxpayers' money for this purpose. And usually whenever folks are given order, or the police are given orders to arrest folks like you, opposition folk, not a single phone call could ever help. I've been through this dozens of times. But give us a little idea. What was your unjust imprisonment like for those hours you spent on the bench? What was your night like? Where did you sleep? Tell us.
All right. I just sat on the bench. I tried to make myself comfortable, and that's about it. I didn't have a shower for the night. I am about to take a shower now. One of the things that really got to me was when my mother came to see me, because when she got the information, she hurried, went to the station to see me to find out if I'm okay. And one of the ranks there told her, no, she can't see me, and he was kind of rude, but I keep my composure because I don't want it to get out of hand. I pushed my face so she could see me, because from where I was sitting, and I whispered, I said, Mom, just take it light. I'm okay. Because I didn't want it to get out of hand, because I know my mother, she would have resisted, she would have insisted that she see our daughter, because like every other parent, they just want to know that the child is okay, given, the atmosphere when you go to a police station, how it can, go overboard. So she didn't get to see me, and she went away. So that really get to me. At
I
least
got
in
you.
my mother, I thought they could have given her a chance to just say hi and let her know that I'm okay.
You're not a criminal. You didn't kick down anybody's door. You didn't thief anybody coconut. You didn't murder anybody. You didn't do anything that warrant this sort of treatment at all, ma'am. And you were at the Wim police station, right? You were at the Wim police station, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And anybody who knows the Wim police station is right there. It's very breezy. And as soon as you walk in, the inquiry desk is there, and you are sitting there at that bench, right? On the left-hand side, I believe.
No, it's now on the right hand side.
Okay. So
And it's now where you're getting the breeze.
it's not. So
No.
you had nothing to cover, no, nothing.
No.
What about
Nope.
food and phone calls? Were you allowed that?
Well, actually, I made all my calls before I go beyond the desk, that partition there. Whilst behind there and sitting on the bench, nobody asked me if I want to make a phone call to anybody, to notify them. They just asked if anybody's outside there to you. At that point in time, they had some colleagues out there, and I said yes. I spoke with one of them briefly, and that was it.
How does this make you feel, being targeted by the police and by an installed government for doing your party work, and these frivolous allegations against you?
Yeah, it's frivolous because the thing is, there is a video that is circulating where an individual video whatever was happening and claim that it is me. All that is in the video that I saw is my vehicle. You're not seeing me nowhere in this video, or I climbing up a post with a hammer knocking down these flags, right? But they just saw my vehicle, and then they said, okay, it's your vehicle, that means you're there.
Interesting.
If you
And we're also
understand what
told
I'm
that
saying.
we're also told that a lot of party flags, PNC, APNU party, PNC party flags were thrown down, damaged, and the PPP candidates, or whomever they were actually putting the PPP flag over PNC or the green flag and so forth. How true are those?
No, that's not true. There was no flag for APNU on the post.
Okay,
They were
so
all PPP flags.
they were all PPP flags.
Yes.
And where they came about with the allegations that PPP flags were being pulled down.
Like I said, there was a video circulating. I don't know who's the person that sent the video to the police, and they acted upon that.
Or they were just acting on that. How does this make you feel now about a system that is supposed to protect and serve, but is targeting people like you?
No confidence at all in them, to be honest with you. There are few policemen who you can talk to, but the majority of them is just there. They just act upon one aspect of the issue, and they don't seek to investigate properly. Because if they had investigate what went on or what they thought happened, they would have found out that I am supposed to be on that bench sleeping in the lockups, because I say it's lockups, not because it's the bench. Behind there is lockup. Because I didn't had no freedom to speak to anybody when I want to make a call. Because for me, there's lockup.
Fair enough. And I agree with you too. And they just placed you on 20,000 station bail, no charges, no nothing.
No charges at all. No charges. Just $20,000 bail.
And that's
No
station bail,
charges.
of course. And the
Yes, station bail.
$20,000 bail, and told you to what? Return when or what?
No, they say if they need me, they're gonna call me. The CID rank who took the statement from me or whatever information she needed, she collect my phone number and says she's gonna make contact with me whenever they need me. And that's about it.
Wow. I know you just came out, and I just don't want to delay you much further because it was, I can imagine what the night was like for you. So I just want to say that we are glad that you're out. And again, you should not have undergone that sort of experience, wicked and vindictive experience under the PPP regime. And for those political stooges who are part of the Guyana police force out there, shame on them. But quickly before we go, how's your campaign going?
We're picking up pace so far. The PPP, this party, I see it as a party of darkness. That's how I see it. They just want to come in and take control of everything. They are spreading some propaganda in this place that is not nice. And I want to take this opportunity to call out the Minister of Agriculture, Minister Zulfikar Mustafa. He made a statement that took TikTok pertaining to some garbage. A resident told him something about some garbage that the chairperson said she ain't picking up the garbage. They go and see Sivan, but yet the tractor picking up she garbage. That is so dishonest. So dishonest. From Minister, I have so much regards to Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, but when I heard that lie and I saw it on TikTok, it took away all the little trust or the little belief, this little thing I had for it gone, because I can't understand a big minister like that going to listen to a resident without finding out, because there was no representation of the council there when he went into the community. And Mr. Ben Sharp, this is a thing that the PPP would do. They would come into the area without notifying the NDC, the council, specifically the chairperson or the overseer, and they would do whatever they want to do. And because we don't have or we don't know about whatever meeting they're carrying on, we can't represent because we're not there. And then they're gonna say, oh, you see, the council not here to represent y'all, and they're not doing this development because they did not inform us that they're coming, because this is a strategy that they're using to get to our people. Take, for instance, on the 1st of May, right? When was Labor Day? Minister of Sports, Charles Ramson, came to Liverpool Center to deliver to the youths a slasher and a grass cutter for the Liverpool Center ground. They did not inform the NDC council, specifically the chairperson or the overseer, to say that he's coming. And this is the regions doing, especially Mr. Zamal Hussein. I like calling name. Me not frightened for calling name. This is what he does. He always plan these activities without informing the NDC. So there are no representation at these activities, and then they would bash the entire council, bash the chairperson, bash the overseer, and then they move in with the snake-like behavior. And say, you see, it's we gotta come and deliver y'all. If y'all vote for we, but then nothing ain't gonna happen. It's a plan thing. They always disrespecting the council. But Mr. Bishop, I'm telling you, I am for my people. It so happened that whenever these things happen, somebody in their own camp just call me and tell me, said, Cheer, you hear this is what going down? I said, no, man. And then right away, if I do something, I left and I go. That day when Mr. Ramsey came, I was wondering to know who he would hand over this thing to. But when I got lo and behold, one of the councillor standing there in my position to receive this thing. But you know, when I reach in, he had to step aside because they know how me stay. He had to step aside and I received what was supposed to be given to the youths. This is the kind of people we dealing with on the grounds.
And
They
so,
just
again, Sharon, the Ministry of Sports, and of course the Minister of Sports, Ramson, they can only walk into communities that they're allowed to. But if the same remedy that Jack Deo urged his supporters to do is to chase these guys out, because Ramson walked all the way there to Liverpool to give the people hundreds of millions of dollars, or just a grass cutter and something else, just a grass
a grass
cutter,
cutter and a slasher.
a
That's
grass
what the
cutter and
ground.
a slasher.
Yes.
Wow, a
Yes.
grass cutter, because
Yes.
that's all they're worth. Cut grass
Yes.
and slash whatever, and that's it. Go down your way.
Yes. And then I heard that he coming back to get a cookout. The youths of Manchester, and Ulverston, and Liverpool want them to come back and cook out.
Cook up,
Well, I'm waiting for the cookout happen.
cook up. Yeah, I'm glad that they're not.
Yes. They're
Yeah, I know you're tired, because I can just imagine what you went through on that bench, being persecuted and wrongfully arrested. And, I'm glad that you're back home, comfortable at Alness. What's the weather like at Alness right now?
It's overcast.
Overcast
It was,
indeed. Thank you
it's
so much.
drizzling earlier.
Thank you so much for all that you're doing, and you and your team out there on the quarantine. We want, especially in your area, we want you guys to be re-elected. And I know next time around that you guys will increase the pressure 10 times more on the PPPC.
Yes. Yes.
And it is also sad that you had to go through that. The police waited almost 24 hours before they put you on $20,000 bail for what only God in heaven knows. But you're also a member of the police management committee, and this is how they've treated you.
Yes. 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 That surprised me also. Very active. Raise hundreds of thousands of dollars to do projects. For the WIM station, donated stuff too. When they get cleaning agents and all of that, I supplied to them. And I was so taken aback as how they treated me. They didn't even once consider, say, all right, this is a member of this management committee. Nobody even talk about it, they forget.
I don't know. Again, continue the good work that you're doing there on the ground. And I know that that with what's happening in these schools and the dorms and so forth, you will pay careful attention to what's happening at Alness Primary School there, and Macaulay. I think Macaulay Primary School still.
Yeah, Maga 1 Primary.
Maga 1, sorry. Maga 1 and Alness Primary. Alness Primary is very close to my heart. I'm sure you probably don't know that.
I heard you mention that several times. Yeah, well, we have 2 secondary, 2 primary, and 2 nursery in the area.
I attended Alness Nursery, and the first ever Alness Nursery, and the first ever nursery school in the village was Ross Nursery School.
Yes, I remember those days. Yeah, I know, Mr. Bencher, before I go, sure, one thing I want to see on air pertaining to the streets.
Sure.
The street that is leading to Magwan Primary, and by extension Winifred Gaskin. For 2 years, almost 3 years, we have been begging, pleading for them to do this street. I even asked Mr. Barjagdio several times, the minister when he get the outreach, the president when he has his outreach, all every forum that I could represent the council pertaining to this street, we did. I did. And to date, this is the what? Fifth, almost closing off, 5th month closing off, going into the 6th month. And we ain't get the street done. And there's a street that 2 schools, access to 2 schools. We can't get it done.
Which one of the streets you're talking about? The one that
Magawan
the Magowan.
Street.
Well, that
Yeah.
I recall those streets. Those that trench used to be properly groomed, cleaned, and everything many years ago. It is sad that the kids, them having dropped off at the head of the road, have to walk all the way down to either Magawan Primary, which is right there on the right, and then you go all the way down to Winifred Gaskin. Hi to the folks at Winifred Gaskin, my school as well. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Yes.
So
the entire community, they have neglected. I have to ask Minister Wanejil, he came to WIM and he boasting 24 streets of WIM. And I stood up and I said, it breaks my heart to hear you say that, Minister. 24 streets for WIM, NDC alone. As an the sister NDC right next door, not even one other street from infrastructure. One vice president, Barjagdio announced 260 something street for Region 6. You know, we did not get one of those streets, not one. And the thing what hurt me is that they're saying that they're doing development across the region. And they're doing this and they're doing that, but you can see clearly in Oxide Lancaster community, they're not doing these things. You're not seeing the development. They're gonna send in a machine for dig a trench, and when the machine comes, it goes to their supporters, and then the disrespect again for the council. Some resident or the supporter controlling the machine, and the back and forth and the fighting with the council and the resident, and that's how it is in Oxide Lancaster.
And that is so sad because during the rainy season, you guys experienced some flooding and the drains were blocked up and nobody's doing anything. Your good friend Zulfikar, who's a waste of time because only certain people close to him are being enriched. They're not going to do those. They're not going to do those. They're not going to do those. They're not going to do those streets leading into Winifred Gaskin, Magawan, and all those places. Unless they're not going to do those streets. But what they're doing, they're telling people that, look, people must elect them, and then they're going to do the streets. Those are shame on people. The next time, let me advise you, Miss Smith, please take my advice. Don't waste your breath asking them to fix nothing. Don't ask Zulfikar nothing to fix nothing, because his house at Bloomfield, well protected, well surrounded, and his family and friends them are well greased with taxpayers' monies. Don't waste your time asking them people for nothing. Ask the Edgel, don't waste your time. When you see him, bust a lime and squeeze it around you.
Yes, the man tell me, oh, I come in with discrimination. I said, sorry, you talking about discrimination. I inviting you to come and take a walk about in the community. You know, he back down because he can't come. He cannot come for see the reality. And this is the things that I'm talking about. One last thing. To all the residents who are listening in on this program, I want you to take note. The NDC, the council, we can only do so much and no more. If the region or central government does not come in and give us the resources, there is nothing we can do at the NDC level. We depend solely on the region or central government to come in, like how they would go to other areas and do stuff. Without their resources, we can't do anything. And that's what they're doing. They're withholding the resources from us. They're stifling us. And then they're coming in now like Santa Claus. Oh, with all these big gifts. I shower you and I'm going to take care of you. But yet, poverty knocking at your door. You know, you don't get a proper street for walk. The drains clog up. And these kinds of things. But they fetch in big bags like Santa Claus come in to share out gifts. And walking on the same block up the street for going for rich people. Them is shame.
They don't have any shame, including Zulfikar and those guys. Don't worry, them and Hussein and all of them. and that other one that lives out there at Kilmarnock, head of the
Right now, they have about 6 machines in Liverpool North, where the supporters are. Just dig in there. And the other areas, none. They had one mini excavator came in a few weeks ago. They're moving it from Lancaster to Alice, where the supporters are. Still now, Manchester, Ulverston, Alice 21 can't dig yet because there's not their supporters.
There's predominantly black area, Manchester,
Right. You can see
Liverpool,
clearly what they're doing.
Ulverston, and so forth and so on. And that is what it is about. I
The
see.
NDC falling apart. Man, I'm sorry, I keep coming up with so much thing, man. It's so
I
much.
know.
Oh, Lord.
That's okay. Come up with it
Oh,
because I know
Lord.
you have the energy, and we're glad that you're out now. We're glad that you're out, and get yourself something proper to eat and head back to campaign trail and just be safe. We are
Yes,
with
thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for all that you do there too. Sharon
And
Smith.
thank you too, Mr. Benshaw. Thank you very
Appreciate it.
much.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, Sharon Smith there. She is contesting constituency number 6. That's the Lancaster Hochstyle area. And it's Lancaster, Liverpool. Then there's Manchester. Then there is Ulverston. Then there is Alness. They have Big Alness and they have Small Alness. And then they have Salton. And then they have Hochstyle. Those are the areas there. Those of you who are not country people, you know, those of you who are not country people. Oh yeah, today's a holiday. Yeah, I'll see what's going on here now. Right, today's a holiday. Yeah, I'll see what's happening here now. Say hi, Emma. Say hi. Yep. You say hi. Say hi, and you go now. All right. Good. Good. You go. About to go take a shower, right? Run quickly.
I didn't take shower.
Oh, you didn't. Okay. Shh. All right, Emma. All right, guys. So we're preparing to wrap up. You know, usually Emma pays me a visit. Jonathan is out riding his bike. He's enjoying himself. He's too big for this here, right? And Ryan is busy with his books as well. So you heard there from the candidate, Sharon Smith. Where did I get Sharon Austin from? Crawford? Where did I get Sharon Austin from? So we got Sharon Smith, candidate out there. She's also the chairwoman for the Lancaster Hochstyle NDC. She's out. They had her on the bench since 5:30 yesterday afternoon. 5:30. She just got out about 1 o'clock. They placed her on $20,000 bail. $20,000 bail. What is happening there on the quarantine? Is that what Wim Police Station is being used for now under the PPP? That's what they're doing? I don't know. You guys tell me something. What do you think? What should, all these things that's happening? And we got to have strong leadership. Again, I say we've got to have strong leadership, guys. You really have to have strong leadership. But some of you like to say now is not the time for that, right? No, it's not the time for that. When is the time for that? When is the time for that, guys? If someone can tell me when is the time for that, I'll be more than happy to. So let's see here now. All right, let's see what's going on. Hi, where am I calling?
Hello?
Where am I calling?
What is your register?
I thought, am I calling Wim Police Station?
Army?
Is this Wim Police Station?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, can you put me, who's the officer in charge there?
Mr. Newland.
Can I have a word with Mr. Newland?
May I ask who's calling?
Yeah, Mark Benshop.
Army?
Mark Benskop.
All right, 1 minute, please.
Thank you. What do you guys think gonna happen? Unavailable, right? Whew. Guess he's coming. Awesome. We get all day.
Hello?
Yep, ma'am.
Hello?
Hi.
He presently stepped out.
Oh, he stepped out. Wow.
Not here.
Probably went out on the front road to
Yeah.
buy mitai. All right. Good.
I am not sure.
Yeah. So you guys just released Sharon Smith.
Pardon me, sir?
Sharon Smith. Are you aware that she was locked up overnight?
I won't be able to see.
You wouldn't be able to say. Have a good day. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah. He stepped out. Stepped out. Stepped out, right? Okay. Stepped out. We'll call him directly now. Call declined. We'll call him again directly. Call declined. We'll call him again directly. Call decline. We'll call him again directly. Call decline. We'll call him again directly. Call decline. Call decline. Call decline. Why these guys treated me like that, man? Call decline. Should I call him again? Should I spend another half hour, keep calling his phone, let him decline and decline and decline and decline until he changes his number? Call decline. I should have changed my photo and you know what? I should change my photo on my WhatsApp and I put this one here. See how quick he gonna answer. Quick, he gonna answer. Quick, he's gonna answer. Quick, he's gonna answer. Yeah. Newland. Inspector Newland. Calling him on his information. Calling him to get information. He is a taxpayer. He works for us. He works for the people, the citizens of that country. He's a worker for the people. He's there to protect and serve. Not when Jack Deere or Irfan or some corrupt individual probably calls him, he picks up as quickly as possible. You know what I mean? They gone and they placed this candidate on $20,000 bail. $20,000 bail. That's what they've done. Kept her overnight on a bench, on a hard bench. Only to put her on $20,000 bail almost 24 hours after. $100 bail. Tell she go along home now. We're going to send for you if we need you. So in other words, what they've done to her, they taught her a lesson. Managed she up. Took her away from her family for an entire night. Put her on a hard bench. Just like that in the open for people to walk in and see. that there's this non-criminal person sitting there all because of her ethnicity. They don't care about these sort of things. They don't care the fact that this is a woman you've done this to. They wouldn't have done that to Priya, you know. They wouldn't. Of course, they'll need about 4 benches, but they wouldn't have done that for Priya. Shame on the Guyana police force. Shame on the leadership of the Guyana police force. Shame on them. We got to wish this candidate, chairman of the Lancaster Hawkstyle NDC, we wish them all the best in this upcoming local government elections. If you folks in that area, Lancaster, Liverpool, Manchester, Ulverston, Alness, Salton, Hawkstyle area, if you guys don't wake up and see what the PPP is doing, there's something wrong. And all of the other folks in areas, Georgetown, New Amsterdam, Linden, Bartica, and so forth, Madja, y'all wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Good afternoon to Civic out there on the quarantine. Civic is out there on the quarantine, not quarantine, Madja. Look at what's happening here now. Take a look at what's happening here. This is the crime scene, you know. That's where 19 young people died. 19 young people died. No police cordon off the area, no nothing. But you have Irfan Ali could walk in there, step on the bones, step on God in heaven knows what, violate the crime scene just for a photo op. Violate the crime scene. Look who he's there with. Robeson Ben. He's there with Mark Phillips. He's there with Jerry Govaya. And it was at that point in time they ignored the mayor. They didn't have time with the mayor of Madja. None whatsoever. But look where they are at the crime scene. Standing next to the bed. Standing next to the grill windows, heavily grilled windows. And when those kids were alive, they would have never find the time to pay them a visit like this, to talk to them, to see the conditions under which they were living. They would not have done that. But they're rushing there now, violating the crime scene just for photo ops. That's all they're concerned about, photo ops. They're not concerned with anything else but to get some quick photo ops, and they're comfortable with that. They can live with that. That is what they are about. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. Quickly before I go, this is what they don't want you to see too. This was in 2021. Way back in 2021. You see that guy standing there? That's Civic. That is Civic. Civic and his granddaughter. Civic. That's Civic. Oh yeah, the same Civic. Many of you guys need to be doing the same thing as well. Civic was highlighting this problem since 2001, the conditions at this school. He started with the fence. He was talking about the water tanks. He was talking about everything since 2021. And he protested this matter, and he directed it directly at Irfan Ali and Priya Manik-Chan. They were talking about books. They were talking about every single thing. This photograph was taken when they protested. He took his granddaughter and they protested right there in front of Madja Secondary School. So it is not that these matters now popped up overnight because of the deaths of those 19 students. They were right there, lingering right there. Priya Manik-Chan turned a blind eye. Irfan Ali turned a blind eye. Dharmlal turned a blind eye. Robeson Ben turned a blind eye. Mark Phillips turned a blind eye. But look at what's going on here now. Thank you, Civic. And thanks to your granddaughter for the bravery. Now, you know, Civic protested the other day too with a couple of other folks there in Madja. And the only targeted person on that protest was Critic. They took him to the station and they charged him. God in heaven knows what. He has to return. He has to go to court on the 17th of June. So we got to salute folks like Civic and his granddaughter. We've got to. Somebody's asking me, Marlon Lorimer, Mark, can we have the information separately? What information? Please, what information can you have separately? What information, Auntie Marlon? What information? All right, it's 27 minutes after 2 o'clock. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's well, the weekend is up, but it's Memorial Day. It's a no school day, so I'm not working today. As you guys know, I'm a babysitter. So this story here now with expired HIV kits in Guyana and millions of dollars, the Ministry of Health. This is something that they got to speak on. Who is the shadow minister of health for the coalition? I think it's Dr. Karen Cummings, right? Maybe we should hear from Dr. Karen Cummings about this issue if she hasn't spoken about it in the past. Or maybe I missed it. Maybe we all missed a lot of things from a lot of those shadow ministers. And the shadow ministers are actually members of parliament of the coalition, of the opposition, that actually called shadow minister. Just like Ganesh is shadow minister of local government. And local government is headed by his friend, Dharam Lal, or maybe not so much his friend, Dharam Lal. And so Ganesh should be probably paying attention to all of the schools and the conditions of the schools as well, and bring it to our attention. Situation in Linden this morning, not Nigel Darmlal, but Nigel London, and others, I believe as former headmaster as well, they were pretty active in the town of Linden. Very active. And I want to say that I didn't see much of the protest, but I joined it late online. And I want to say kudos to Nigel London, Apostle Nigel London, and headmaster, former headmaster or principal. You know, good job done. That is what elected officials should be doing. But again, we don't see the elected officials as active as that at all. They're always peeping from some corner, or just those who just want people to elect them into office and feel that that will solve the problem. Because some people, all they believe in is positions. But thank you, London, and thank you, the principal. You guys know the headmaster's name from Linden there, but good job done, guys. The fake HIV kits, we'll get back and touch on that later on this evening. But for now, we'll just pack our bags for now and go. We'll see you guys later on this evening. Pray for the nation. It's gone. It's gone. See you guys later this evening. Bye-bye. Take care.
So this is attorney Sharon Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.